Hello everyone, Bob Silent here again, and we're talking more about Explorers Unlimited. Where I last left off was right about here. Now it's important to note, everyone, that you do not get specific items when you create your first character. You get to create a wish list of items. And depending upon how powerful of a character you have chosen to play, you will get different qualities of gear. Don't play broken characters if you want badass stuff. Play a rogue scholar or a city rat, you'll get some pretty badass gear for a class like that. You'll get like, ooh, I want to play a mega hero. Well, first off, that's going to take some effort on site because it's not free, but I'll get to that later. Anyway, so as it says right here, your requests are only a guideline to your reviewer. Prioritize the gear you would like. Are you willing to sacrifice part of your gear to get other gear? Now, the next part is about Explorers Points. Explorers Points are given to players for adding value to the community. Augur provides these benefits on a case-by-case basis. Each EP can be used to purchase a variety of things for your characters. An extensive list can be found here. There's a link. How players can earn EP without taking on positions of an AGM or GM is located here. We'll go into this. This is the bounty board. If you are a creative type, this area is a gold mine for you. And I mean literally can be a gold mine for you. Each player is required to place their name and accounts and what accounts they have in the EP ledger. There's a checklist for character submission. You can copy and paste it to your own character sheet so you can go through it. Now we'll start going through these links in the table of contents. Oh, look. We don't really need a link to the next post down. I guess, maybe. Play by post rules. You must post once a week to avoid penalties. That means typing approximately 150 words every 7 days, running them through some sort of spell checking program, and then posting them. Along with some dice rolls and some bulletin board formatting that I learned when I was 8 years old. I don't really know how difficult it is for somebody else to learn. I kind of just picked it up real quick. You should probably go through all of this, but I'll highlight the site maturity part. If you act like an adult, you'll be treated like one. This place is not a forum for free speech. Right here. Right here it says Augur owns the site. He's the final arbiter of what you say. If you say something disrespectful that he's not cool with, he'll give you like some warning and probably kick you if you continue to be a prick. I don't blame him. There's a lot of pricks out there on the internet. How to write in Rift's Merctown. So this is how you format your 150 words of creative writing a week. Your character cannot post in more than one location at a time, i.e. you can't be in two places at once. There's a bit of a bend in that rule, there's some curly cues to it, dimensional timey-wimey nonsense. But that's pretty much how it works. When departing a scene or thread, you must make a note of where you're going and the content of the post to that new location. This only really applies to Merctown, because you can go from building to building in the town. It's pretty much all laid out for you. When a character enters a scene, they cannot overhear more than one post prior to their arrival, which is to say, you can't respond to stuff that happened several posts back when you arrive to a brand new place. 4, and this is site-wide. Like, it doesn't matter if you are in Merctown or not. All posts must be done in the third-person present tense. Dave walks into a bar and says, "Ouch." That's an example. If this grammar is beyond your understanding, you should do one of two things. A, get a hold of another DM via Hangouts. You need to change this, Augur. Or a private message so we can explain things more clearly for you. B, play on another play-by-post site. Augur types kind of smarmy sometimes. Spoken text must be written inside quotes. Right? It's not rocket science. We did learn this in elementary school. Posted thoughts must be written in italics. Now this is a little more complicated because you have to learn how to post italics in bulletin board code. Certain GMs will ask for different formats. Please understand that these are the default requirements for use on this site. Shorthand list for EU writing customs. Plain text is descriptive narrative. Italicized text is used to convey a character's thoughts and internal monologue. Bold text is verbal speech. Please note that the quotes are inside the tags used to bold the text. Telepathy is italicized and light blue in color. Verbal speech, conducted via electronic means like radio, is bolded and colored dark blue. The difference between normal posts and combat posts. I don't think we need to get as far as combat posts with you guys quite yet. We're trying to get you into the game. Normally you don't come into the game swinging. It does happen sometimes. Rifts, Merctown groups. All PCs must find and join a group in a reasonable amount of time. Groups which have formed must get out of town and start adventuring in a reasonable amount of time. I don't think that rule is written until my first group spent like a year in Merctown kinda sitting on its butt doing nothing. That would be Paragon Acquisition Services. It wasn't really their fault, though. We went through, like, Game Master left and came back and left and came back and left, and he was not exactly reliable even when he was back. And then we got another one, and he was good for a while. Then he left. And then Paragon got Venitas Vinco. And everyone's better off. But I left after the first adventure. Because my character would have done something crazy or stupid if I had stayed in the group. So I wrote her out. Just in case. So in these rules up here, it says that you need to post just in case rules, right? Like, this is posting dice rolls so the GM doesn't have to ask you for dice rolls. It's actually kind of an ingenious idea, and I have in fact used it in tabletop play. Use miscellaneous rules. There are a lot of curly cues to the Palladium system that this, and I mean there's a significant chunk of this. I'm still going. Yeah. So there's a lot of potential house rules. And it's a lot to take in at first, but really you don't need to know quite everything right away. A good glance over some stuff might be good. Like, everyone should probably check out the body armor rules. That's kind of important. There's clarifications of Cybernite abilities. The knowledge upload procedure. Nobody really uses this anymore. I mean, I think my character is the only one active on site that has used it. But you can give up your experience points and a bunch of credits for skills. There's healing guidelines that are more clarified, supernatural damage rules, jumping rules, encumbrance rules. This also affects everyone, and I've bought exoskeletons for characters so that they can kind of work around this rule. It's really limiting, but it makes the game kind of like Fallout. You can only carry so much before you're over encumbered. Perception rules. Perception rules. Perception skill. All characters, regardless of origin or type, have perception as a natural ability. It's a skill. You convert the existing D20 perception rules to percentages. Oh, they've been quickly at work changing everything in here. Huh. I totally missed this conversation. Perception rules are currently a work in progress. Please hold on. Spellcraft and magic rules. This is only important if you're a spellcaster, but the determination of whether or not you're going to be a spellcaster might be determined by how much your eyes glaze over looking over the house rules. General rule regarding the interpretation and implementation of spells. The EU default regarding Palladium's material is not to accept which is potentially implicit, but to restrict interpretation to that which is explicit. It takes time to learn spells. You cannot trade spells among spellcasters in your group. You have to be 9th level according to the Rift's rules to teach another spellcaster spells yourself. Magic combat rules. This changes fundamentally the rules for magic combat in Rifts from what the RUE says. So, actions per melee applies to all types of actions, so a mage may mix his spellcasting with their other actions as he sees fit. That's magic attacks per melee as per normal Palladium rules is dissolved. Magic spells levels 1 to 5 take 1 action to cast, 6 to 10 take 2 actions to cast. Magic spells level 11 to 15 and spells of legend take 3 actions to cast. Being near a ley line within 2 miles increases the range and duration of spells by 50%. That's normal. So all this is about the ley lines and nexuses. Ensures to clarify here that magic items also do the same thing within near ley lines and nexuses. There's some curly cues about the Battle Magus, the Mystic Knight, learning spells from a scroll. Very low percentage chance of success. You really need to find another way. This is a revision to Metamorphosis Dragon, so it's usable. How to roll dice. This is pretty important. Dice rolling, well, it's not exactly new, but this was posted in 2013. This explains to you the formatting, shows you right here, like perception, just in the D20s, right? For rolling attributes, you need to use the dice string command right here. This is like how you would roll skills. Everything's easy, actually. You can just copy and paste this. You can select it with this. Okay, don't use the select all box. It apparently glitches out and pushes you up to the top of the screen. So copy and paste. Copy and paste. Right. It's as easy as that, and you can adjust. You can adjust all of this. Explorer's points. I think I'll end the episode here.